going on YouTube? Today I have a different style video for you guys. It's a ride along vlog. Hopefully it's very informative and you guys enjoy the content. So today I want to talk to you guys about why I like this car. Not necessarily why I bought it, but these are big reasons as to why you would want this car. So if you're on the fence about buying this car, hopefully this video will shed some light and sway you to the right direction. First and foremost, one of the big reasons this car has so much hype behind it is because it's all-wheel drive. The car being all-wheel drive, that's a big plus. You know, this car in rain, snow, or dry pavement, it's good. It's the traction, I've never had any issues with traction. Of course, it depends on your wheel setup, your tires, everything. But still, I have never had any issues with my summer tires with traction in the rain. I've never had issues with all-season tires in the winter. Like, seriously. So that's a big bonus with this car. The all-wheel drive system with the Evo 10 is one of the most advanced pieces of technology in any Japanese car. So number two, this car is turbocharged, so that turbo pulls out a lot of power, man. If this car didn't have that turbo, this car would just be a stock Lancer, which I don't know how much horsepower it makes. I'm guessing right now, I'd say about 130 horsepower maybe. So yeah, this car, half the power comes from that fucking turbo, and you can feel it. That's another thing about the turbo. I love turbocharged cars, especially this one, because of the turbo lag. Some people hate it, but I love it. I just love it. Once I hit 3,500 RPM and floor it, man, this thing hauls ass. Like, it's a crazy push. You can definitely feel the acceleration. Let me see if I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick pull right now. It pulls you back. Maybe not so much the driver because they're anticipating it, but if I had a passenger right now, they'll be flying back. Along with that turbo, you get the best engine sounds. Like, this car, I love the way it sounds. Both the exhaust, the blow-off valve, and the intake, the cold air intake, they all combine to make a beautiful sound. That's definitely a bonus with this turbo in this car. That's reason number three. Reason number four, the car is very affordable for what you get. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, you're paying mainly for the all-wheel drive system and the turbo setup. That Myvec is also a very dependable motor. We'll get into that next. But the affordability behind this car, you can find this car for about $20,000, you know, good mileage, and I think it's a hell of a buy just because of what it gives you. Like, the all-wheel drive system comes second to none, in my opinion. In any car that I've ever been in, I've been in an Audi all-wheel drive, their system's great. X-Drive, it's terrible from BMW, it's probably one of the worst. I have not been in a Mercedes 4MATIC or whatever it is. Number five, it's a 4-cylinder with balls. This thing kicks, I'm telling you, this is the best, the fastest 4-cylinder I've ever been in. An Evo. I love it. There's no complaints I have with this car that, you know, due to the engine displacement. I don't care. I beat SVT Cobras, you know, Mustang Cobras. I beat them in this car. I beat Charger SRT8s. I beat what else? I've got my ass whooped by a Hellcat. I'm pushing close to 400 horsepower to the wheels. Full bolt-ons, everything you can think of, without going internals. It's also stock turbo, so I can't say that. But yeah, it's fucking fast for it being a 4-banger. I know people get a lot of shit for it. The engine, it don't sound as good as a, you know, fucking naturally aspirated engine, but it's still a hell of a beautiful sound with that turbo and the blow off or diverter valve and cold air intake. Reason number 6, the customizability behind this car. There's so much shit you can buy for this car online, aesthetically and performance wise. So all kind of carbon fiber bits, all kind of motor, you know, mods, all kind of exhaust. The market for this car is really, really good, just because of you have so much you can buy. There's so many vendors, there's so many different companies that put out product for this car. And that's definitely a bonus when you're, you know, wanting to work on your car, wanting to build a car. You want to know, if you get a brand new car of the year, you know, you have to wait for these parts to come out. But with this car, man, there's so many parts out, you can do anything with this car. That was a big bonus for me. Another thing is, this car holds its value. This is 08. This is an 08 right here. You find these with, you know, mid mileage, I'm saying about 50,000, 60,000 miles for about $20,000 to $25,000. So that's a hell of a, you know, I mean, that's not cheap, but, you know, it holds its value. You know, MSRP, off the top of my head, I don't know, 34,000, something like that. I think it's a hell of a deal for it still being, it's almost like, what, $10,000 off of its original price 8-9 years later. You don't, well, in my city anyway, you don't see a lot of Evos. So that brings me to my next reason. You don't see a lot of Evos. I see a lot of like Mustangs, Camaros, Challengers, Chargers. You know, you see a lot of that shit. Honda Civics. You don't see a lot of Evos. You see a lot of Subarus, a hell of a lot of Subarus. That was another reason why I like this car. And, you know, it depends on your city, where you're from. You might see a hell of a lot of them. But like I said, I see none around this area. Reason number 9, they stopped making Evos. So I picked the newest one up, you know, the Evo 10, or not the final edition, but I picked up an Evo 10. And yeah, I picked it up at a good price before the value. You know, maybe it's gonna start going up, who knows? And I got one, and I love it. And I have no intentions of selling the thing. So there goes to show you that it's a good buy. Number 10. It goes hand in hand with the customizability aspect of the car. But they're pretty, you could beat up on these cars, man, and they could take a beating, trust me. If I had to choose between an STI and an Evo, I'd choose the Evo if I'm gonna customize it. Now, if I were to keep this car stock and you know, compare it to a stock STI, man, it can go either or. But once you start modding Subarus, man, you start running into issues like no other. Same with this car, but not as much. And I'm being completely honest here. I'm very unbiased. I have an Evo. I love the Evo. Subaru, that was what really opened the doors to all-wheel drive turbo cars for me. So I don't have anything against Subarus at all. I don't hate them. I appreciate their history. They're great cars. So it's very unbiased for me to say that this car, the Evo 10, is more dependable when you start putting money into it, when you start upgrading things, such as like your exhaust, your intake, your you know, you start putting an intercooler into it, a bigger turbo, E85. When you start doing things like that, this car hands down handles that power better than any Subaru would. So that was a major selling point for me. But all in all, I think this car looks fucking menacing. It's badass. I love the way this car looks. There's not one thing I would change about the exterior of the car. The interior, of course, it's kind of dull, it's kind of boring, but man, what you get, you know, you get one of the best all-wheel drive systems any car offers, and you also get a badass turboed engine. So I think this car is definitely worth the buy, and if you're planning on, or if you're looking at buying one, you will not regret it. And I say that honestly because I bought this car about, what, 2 years ago, and I've not regretted not one thing. It's been great to me. I've never had any major issues, thank God, not yet. I don't anticipate any. It's been running really fine. I take care of it. I do my oil changes. You know, it all goes the dependability also goes hand in hand with that, how well you actually take care of the car. So hopefully these what I've told you guys are very good points as to why you may want this car and why I bought this car. So if you're living on the fence between like this and an STI or something, hopefully this video will help you, has helped you determine what is best for you. I do daily this car. It's not comfortable, I can admit that. It's not a comfortable car to drive, but you're not buying this car to be comfortable. You know, it's on Megan Racing coilovers, and the ride is stiff as hell. They are adjustable, but to a certain extent. This is not a comfortable ride. This is not something I want to daily, but I have no choice. I'm working on fixing my my old daily. So hopefully that gets, you know, fixed soon, because I hate driving this car every day. I just hate putting miles on it too, and there's not a lot of places I can go because of how low it is. And I don't want to adjust the coilovers too much, so I just want to sit. I want to have this car for a weekend, on the weekends, you know. I don't want to have to fucking worry about or plan my trip ahead and know where the hell I'm going and stuff like that. So hopefully I get my daily fixed, and I can just keep this as a weekend car, you know. It's not the nicest car, but fuck, I love this car.